Hello and welcome to CIS101 this week. This is going to be hopefully a really short video just to give you an overview. This is the hump week. This is week 3 out of 6. And so we've kind of started off slow. I know that sounds crazy given the amount of stuff that we've done. And this week's got a lot to do and a lot to look at and learn about. But then after this, we kind of taper down a little bit. And so hang in there this week, do the best you can do, and let me give you a couple of strategies. So this is a big deal. Plan, don't panic. This phrase kept coming to mind because it does get overwhelming. If you watch that video I gave you in the very beginning, I know you're saying there was a lot of videos, but the one about deadlines, right? I mentioned, or about due dates, I mentioned that in an online class, it can get really overwhelming if things pile up. That is so true. It's true in a regular semester, and it's especially true in the winter semester or the winter term, because we don't have a lot of time to make up. So plan, don't panic. All right. Use the checklist every week. That is your surefire way to keep track of what there is to do, of what you've already done. Read the little notes in there. I put notes in there to kind of give context and help you out and make some suggestions. Use all of that. That's there for you. And then schedule your week. So look at the checklist the first day of the week and then schedule your week. Say, okay, I know I have a variable schedule, but in this week on Monday, I can put 2 hours here, and on Tuesday, it might be in a different place, and on Wednesday, maybe someplace else. But schedule out your week. Give yourself, try to do a 2-hour block every day, even if it's 1 hour here and 1 hour there. That will give you a really good jump start. And then double dip. For example, there's a podcast this week. You don't have to sit here and stare at the screen while you're listening to a podcast. You can get up, do some other things you need to do, get in your Fitbit steps, do whatever you need to do, and listen at the same time. On all the videos, there's about 4 hours of videos. But what if you listen to them at double speed? Well, then that's only 2 hours of video. Now, I personally can't digest them at double speed. It's just too fast. But I can do 1.5 or 1.75, and that cuts down the time significantly. So plan to use these strategies. And then one thing I noticed this week is look for feedback. There's a number of people, it's not just one, there were several people that like Saturday or Sunday or even Monday messaged me back on a note that I gave them last week about their topics. Well, if they'd had that information last week, if they had looked at it when I put it there when I said I was going to put it there, then they could have gotten moving on other parts of the project a lot faster and not gotten behind. So make sure you look for feedback. Set your notifications for your Discord notes channel, set it for the announcements channel, and then anything else you think is useful. But if you watch that how to reduce the visual clutter video in Discord, I turn off a lot of notifications because it adds to the clutter. I can go to the channel when I want to see it. It's not like I can't go to it like the team channels, but I don't have the notifications on. So make sure you have notifications for notes and announcements. And then make sure that you add the emails from Moodle and the emails from me to your contacts, because a lot of times those are ending up in your spam folder and you might not even see them. And so the gradebook is another place where you get feedback. If you click on the gradebook or the grades link and go to your page, it will show you what score you got. And I almost always put a comment there that gives you some context about why you got that score. So those are your strategies for the week. Plan, don't panic. Now, what are we doing this week? I'm just going to give you a really super brief overview, okay? We have a digital media unit, we have a computer software unit, we have a reliable sources unit, we have a computer hardware unit. I should have put that up here too. But the only thing from that one is a quiz, okay? But digital media, there's a photo safari project. You might already have pictures that you can already use, or you might want to go outside or go around and take some new pictures. You'll have to use 4 pictures, and you're going to get to do some editing. You're going to learn a little bit, kind of playing on the fake news unit from last week, a little more about how digital media can be manipulated. And there's in the PK original video this week on that, there's some things that'll just blow your mind. I'm pretty sure of it. So there's digital media. So that'll take you a little bit of time. The computer software chapter. So in that chapter, what you're going to be looking at, or we're going to actually use some more software. So we did word processing software in the first week. This week, we're going to look at slide presentation software, which means you're going to make a slide presentation, and you're going to get to practice the skill of recording, just like I'm doing right now, with slides talking about your presentation. But here's the catch. You can't research the topic. It has to be on something you already know about. It could be on your dog. It could be on your favorite flowers. It could be on a vacation you took. It could be on your favorite color, and it only has to be 2 to 4 minutes. It doesn't have to be very long. The goal is to create effective, efficient slides. And so that's what the resources in this part of the chapter or this part of the week will help you do. Make sure you watch the Death by PowerPoint one, but don't do any of that stuff, okay? And so you're going to submit a video, you're going to do your slides, you're going to create a SlideShare video. Yes, you should try to be on the video. People always ask that, but it's a really fun project. This is usually once they get over the initial panic, this is a fun project. So remember, plan, don't panic. And then the reliable sources project, we're running into part 4 now. I know this is going super fast. So that means you need part 1, 2, and 3 to do part 4. And in the submit one, there's a video that goes with this. But in a nutshell, you're going to take one of your good resources, pick the best one that you submitted to me last week, the one that's got the most reliability, the most credibility, making sure it has an author, and then take your criteria, and I'm going to give you feedback on both the criteria and the resources, but you can get started before you get the feedback. And the feedback goal is to get that to you by midweek. So you're going to take your criteria and you're going to write up an evaluation. You're going to give me a brief summary, which is just maybe a paragraph. And then you're going to take each of your evaluation criteria that you selected, and you're going to look at that article and evaluate it. But go beyond what's just on the page. For example, for the author, you don't need to stick with the little author profile that most publications give. Go look at their LinkedIn. Go do a Google search. Like, what's their authority on this? There's lots of things you can do. So remember, you have to have an author. You can't have accuracy or currency as criteria. But then there's a whole bunch of other things you can have. So I'm going to look at the criteria you give me and how well you evaluate that for submit one. So you're just doing one article off of your list. Pick a good one. And then again, we have 3 quizzes, which means we have 3 chapters. It's an 11 chapter book, right? And we only have 6 weeks. So we're doubling up. This is not the week to try to read all the chapters. Like, I don't think any week is. Skim through the chapters, take 10 minutes, flip through, kind of see what the sections are. And that way, when you get around to doing the quizzes, you at least have an idea of where to look in the book, okay? But you have until the last week. I can't remember the exact date, sorry. You have until the last week of class, I think the end of week 5, to get all the quizzes done. So even if you don't get them all done this week, as long as you're keeping track and looking in your grade book, you can get them done later. So I'm giving you a sneak peek right now, because this assignment is not until week 5, but here's your sneak peek. We're going to do a movie review. So in week 5, you get to watch a movie, and it's going to be one of these movies. All right. Now, the criteria for my movie selection is it's a movie that has to do with computer history in some manner. Some of these are documentaries. Some of these are fictionalized accounts. Some of these, there's just all kinds of different things here, okay? Pick one. I'm going to ask Hidden Figures is the popular one. Like everybody picks Hidden Figures. Now, honestly, I get a little bit bored of it. Super good movie. Not saying you can't watch it, but some of these other ones are really interesting. Some are on Netflix, some are on Prime, some are on YouTube, some are on 2 or 3 of those. Okay. If you do a search for one of these, you'll find it. It might be good to pick your movie and watch it over the weekend or watch it next week just to give you a jump start, because the project is going to be a creative one and you have to be able to pick out the big ideas and the big themes of what's happening in the movie. Not just the characters, not just the plot line, but what are the big ideas that led to all the creativity and innovation that birthed the technology revolution we're living out today. All of these movies involve part of that. So this is just a sneak peek. It's not an assignment this week. You don't have to worry about doing it. But if you want to start thinking, it'll give you a jump start for week 5. So that's about it for this week that I'm going to give you. Remember, plan, don't panic. That's your best friend. When you panic, you do things and you're not thinking about things. But when you plan, you actually get things done and succeed. So this is going to be a good week. I'm looking forward to our class Zoom sessions. If you haven't signed up, make sure you sign up and we'll see you online.